A lantern as big as a house. The festival of Vesak is a feast to honor Lord Buddha. People observe the first day of Vesak by meditating and fasting from afternoon until sunrise of the next day. At sundown, lanterns are lit. Patiya, a young boy, lived with his granny. He wanted to make a big festive lantern. He traded a gourd from his grandmother's vegetable garden for some strips of bamboo and tied them together to form a diamond-shaped framework as big as his mud house. 6 days before Vesak, Patiya finally finished the framework. He was struck by a thought and went to the kitchen looking for Granny.
We won't have enough paper to cover the lantern.
There'll be plenty of paper, never you fear. We'll dig up the sweet potatoes. On Sunday, we'll sell them at the market. And then we'll bring home the rainbow. So, on Sunday, Patiya bought all he needed for decorating his lantern. He and Granny began working on the lantern early in the morning. Since there was not room enough on the small porch for the lanterns and 2 persons, Granny got inside the framework. She sat on the floor, cutting out the paper. Patiya stood on a chair outside, pasting pieces of paper on the framework. They worked into the night, but still they couldn't finish. The next day, after visiting the temple and a hurried lunch, they began to work again till sunset. Finally, the last bit of trimming went into place and the lantern was ready. Patiya, how can I get out? You've pasted me in. In his excitement, Patiya had closed the last opening that was being left for Granny's exit.
Oh, Granny, whatever are we to do? We just can't tear the paper now.
Throw me the matches and I'll light the candles. Granny lit the candles one by one until the lantern glowed. Against one side of the lantern, there appeared the shadow of an aged woman in deep meditation. Slowly, the candles were burning out, one by one. Quietly, Granny tore open a side of the lantern and stepped out. Patiya was asleep beside the lantern, his face full of contentment. Perhaps even in his dreams, he could still see that lantern as big as a house.